Oh, good to be here. Excited to hopefully put a spin on this that people enjoy. Hello. April, can you hear me? Am I showing up on stream for you? Oh no, we just don't have audio. Whoopsie. So much
Okay,
for
no, there we go. For some reason, I had my my microphone was set to the wrong device.
so much for the explanation.
So much for the. I'm gonna
Hello
have to do that
everyone.
all over again. That's okay. Um, okay, that is correct as well. Okay, so you can hear me, right? Yeah. All right.
I think we're good now.
So I'm going to do the explanation again. So I'm recording this, and it'll be a little bit faster this time. Um, so I'm doing. I'm going to record this a little bit differently than usual. So what you're seeing here is you're not going to see any kind of zooming in and out. You're not going to see any of like individual brushstrokes as I'm making them. You only see them like the entire brushstroke show up um, when it's finished. And the reason I'm doing that is that when I speed up the footage, it's a lot cleaner that way. Whereas if it's like zooming in and out, it can get really distracting, and so I always have to edit it. And so if I record it this way, then I have less to edit later for when I make the videos, talking about multiple designs at once, where I do the kind of speed painting thing. But if there's any part that I want to zoom in and make sure that you see the detail as I'm doing it or something like that, or just to really talk about something, then I will switch to the usual view and you'll see exactly the same thing that I see. So, anyway, Julie, you want to tell our viewers what you intend to do?
That is a good question. I guess I should do that while they're on the screen. And I know I've
Yes,
sent you the
I'm.
concepts, so
Yeah, that they. I wonder, is that going to be a problem? The like turning layers on and off, is that going to not show? Um, Weird. Huh. Yeah, I'm turning like layers on and off, and that's not showing. So what do I have to do for it to show? Oh, there we go. Okay, weird. All right, well, they're on screen now. There we go. I assume you can see them now.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I can see them now.
All right. Sorry, it is a new way to record that I'm trying out. I've recorded one video before, but it wasn't a live stream that I then edited. It was something that I recorded only for a video. So this is going to be a bit of a new experience for everyone. So anyway, tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, so these guys, I decided to kind of give them a garage tool aesthetic. And that sort of came from, I started out with Rhydon, and the thing I like the most about Rhydon is the drill on its head. And I always felt like that wasn't really that prominent in the games. I know when I watched the anime, he'd have certain attacks where he'd like spin that, or even in Pokemon Stadium, that would be rotating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really something you ever got to read statically as a drill. It just kind of looks like a horn. So I really wanted to play that up. And once I played up the drill, I realized it would be kind of fun if I just added like other tools to him as well. So I sort of turned the spines into like the tooths on a saw. Since I figured we were going for like a tool aesthetic, I wanted to make him look kind of dirty, like he was working. And I sort of brought down the chest piece a little because I wanted it to look like a dirty shirt that he'd be like wearing in a workshop.
Okay, I see.
I didn't want to go. I probably even want to bring it down a little more than I did. I didn't want to go like super literal with it because I don't love literal clothes on Pokemon a lot of the time, but I think it was cool to kind of bring in a subtle way, especially when I even think the latest Sugimori art of Rhyhorn really kind of looks like he's got sleeves on him, so I played into that one a lot. And then I sort of worked backwards.
I can see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I sort of worked backwards from that. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm doing the tool aesthetic with Rhydon, I should do it with Rhyhorn as well. And I feel like his design is a little harder to read, but I wanted to make the plating on his side sort of reminiscent of wrenches, and I wanted to make his headpiece sort of look like the back of a hammer. And that one was really hard to read, because originally I wanted to turn his horn into the tip of the hammer, but then he's not Rhyhorn anymore because he doesn't have a horn, so I really had to keep that there no matter what. I brought in a bit of color because when I was looking up a lot of images of tools, I noticed that a lot of times they had a colorful grip on them, and I thought that was a good way to bring a little vibrancy into a very dull color-wise design. And I think that kind of sums up where we're at.
Cool. Yeah, I like them both.
Cool.
Like, this is more just a like execution thing. I feel like Rhyhorn maybe needs to be a little bit wider. I kind of like the really like wide and low Rhyhorn. But yeah, like that's really minimal. And I think really the only kind of feedback that I have about Rhydon is that I think it would be nice to give it that like the second horn, the one on its that's like higher up on its head.
I'd be open to making one of the sawtooths really big, like that horn.
I feel like that would work.
When I was looking at the design, that horn to me kind of felt like an afterthought, so I sort of edited it out. But if you feel like it's a really key part of the design, I'm happy to bring it back in a little bit.
Well, it's not so much that I think it's a key part of the design. I think that it helps sell it as a rhinoceros, as opposed to having a single horn.
Do rhinos have two horns? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it might be a species thing. Maybe some of them have one, some of them have two, but yeah, no, it's rhinos with two horns for sure.
Oh my gosh. Why was this not sticking out of my mind? Yeah, okay, yeah, we should definitely keep that on there then. I think I think that helps to keep the rhino theme going. I probably leaned so hard into my garage dad aesthetic that I sort of forgot that it was a rhino.
Um, yeah, I'm just looking at photos of rhinos to see if there's. Yeah, there. I definitely see some with one and some with two. Is this a?
Now that I looked him up, though, you're totally right. Like,
Yeah. Is
I
this a
guess I just
species
haven't
thing?
internalized what a rhino looks like for a while. But yeah, for sure. Let's get that other horn back in there.
And now I'm curious if the difference is a species thing or if it's like a male and female thing. But anyway, um, since some have one, some have two, I think it makes sense to like have um, Rhyhorn have a single one and Rhydon have two.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
So, well, I guess I'll get started drawing it, but whenever you send your sketches, I always feel like I don't need to do anything. These aren't sketches, these are finished pieces.
Well, if it makes you feel better, stuff like you talking about like widening them and stuff, I definitely rushed through these a little bit because I have had just a wildly busy weekend. So if you want to embellish them a little bit, it is all you.
Okay. Um, let's see. I'm just looking at them, looking at all the different Rhyhorn and Rhydon poses to see if there's a particular one that I like better or something. But I do like the top right Rhydon. I like how active it looks. All of the art from Red and Blue is so much more active than the art from Red and Green, and more active than most of the modern official art too.
Yeah, the modern official art is very cleanly rendered, but I feel like a lot of times it looks more static.
Yeah, although like the Gen 8 ones tend to be a little bit more active than they used to be, but it's a very like small and gradual change. So
I'd have to look at them to compare, but I probably agree with you.
I think it like for this kind of thing, I think it's really interesting to look at like the regional forms because then you have the Pokemon in the you have the original one, the original art from like Gen 3 or Gen 4, and then you have the new art, and you can really see the difference. And so for like in the past, I think for the Alolan forms, I think they were all rendered in basically the same pose as the original, but not so much for the Galarian forms. So like Galarian Zigzagoon art is a great example of this because it is super active, whereas Hoennian Zigzagoon is just kind of sitting there.
Uh-huh. I get you.
All right. So, what pose do I want?
My vote is the top pose. Are we going to start with Rhydon?
I guess we could. We usually start with Rhyhorn or with the base stage, so that's what I was gonna go for. But
Okay. I'm not as huge on the top one there because I feel like you only see the side of it. So I think the middle is a good ground. I kind of like that that 3/4 view.
yeah, the top one, even though it is a more active pose because it has its mouth open, that's really all it is. But because you see it pretty much straight from the side, it looks very static still.
Yeah, why don't we do pose number 2 and then open the mouth? Best of both worlds.
Sounds good. We can do that.
I just want to say, before we get deep into this, that these Pokemon are completely named backwards because Rhyhorn is quadrupedal and you would ride on it. So that should be Rhydon. And then the one that has more horns should be Rhyhorn. Like, just saying.
Yep, the horn is the like prominent feature.
It's super weird they did that.
Yeah. Oh well, can't get everything right.
No. It's a real Flygon Salamence situation.
Yeah, that one doesn't bother me as much, but I can see it.
Yeah. It's just the fact that it would make total sense if it was Bagon, Shelgon, Flygon, and
For
I don't
sure.
know where that.
Yeah, that's like
I don't know where that got mixed up.
no, yeah, Bagon, Shelgon, Flygon, that one makes perfect sense. But the other way around, calling Flygon Salamence, that one doesn't like work as well, I think. So, yeah. But at least you're not arguing that that means that those designs were switched, because that's what
No,
I've heard.
I just think sometimes the localizations they don't think quite as hard as they should.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's just I've heard people use the Bagon, Shelgon, Flygon thing as an argument that those designs were switched. Like the names, maybe. Like I'm not convinced, but maybe. But the designs, definitely not.
It's like arguing that Empoleon's an Eevee evolution. Like,
There are many Eevee evolutions that that were mistakenly made into something else.
Charmeleon,
Exactly.
Kecleon, Inteleon. Come on.
See?
The
So many
conspiracy
of
theory is
them.
there.
um, Let me just have a. I was keeping an eye on the chat, but I just wanted to make sure that I say hello to everyone. So hello, April, Max, Dimitri, Kuru Pendant, although that one is Indigo. Charon, Haffa, Connor, Gunno, Wispy. There we go. I think I got everyone now. Hello, welcome.
Good to have you. Good to have you here for whatever I'm trying to do with these designs. Whatever we're trying to do with these designs.
In this case, mostly you. You can take all the blame if people don't like it.
Okay, I will. All me. I did kind of try to put a bit of the wrench look in the head as well. I think you're getting that though. I think you're working it out.
The wrench look.
They're really cartoony wrenches, but like the
Yeah, yeah.
negative space in the side. Yeah. Not so much so that you'd look at it and be like, oh, a wrench, but just like maybe your brain would be like, oh.
Yeah, and like I wouldn't go, oh, a hammer, like the back of a hammer. I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my first thought here, but that's often the case with official Pokemon designs too, right? Like it's
Yeah.
you have to research it or you have to hear it from someone else. Oh, I think it's based on this, and then you go, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Feel free to keep the ear holes in there. I kind of just forgot to slap those on mine. So if you want to just keep those dark spots on the top of the tips, that's fine.
I can't say I'm super attached to ear holes.
I'll leave it up to you. It's just one of those things where Rhydon has ears, and I guess not that they have to be analogous to each other, but like
Yeah.
they're there.
So now I have to try to like rotate this in a way that looks natural so that we can have its mouth open.
Yeah.
Um,
Because that is a little more dynamic. It's hard to make a very sorry, Rhyhorn, a very fat quadrupedal Pokemon kind of look dynamic.
yeah, it's you can't really get a lot of pose variety out of Rhyhorn.
Yeah. Because it's got such like short little legs too.
Yeah, the poor thing. that look natural enough?
Yeah, that looks good to me. I think you nailed it.
I think I need to adjust the the horns on the top of the head a little bit. I feel like their angle isn't quite right. Um, how is it looking for those of you who are watching, um, and not seeing every single brushstroke or anything like that? How's that looking for you? How's that working out? Does
It's
it?
looking good.
Okay, it's not too odd or awkward to only see things like jump across the canvas when I move them or something like that.
No, I don't think it's that strange.
Okay. Because this is like watching a speed paint but slow. So you don't see every step. And I don't know, that seems a little bit odd to me.
We're just chill painting right now.
I like the way that you gave the horns like some depth.
Thank you.
Rather than just making it round or just making it flat.
Yeah, I think that came from me referencing the wrench too, how it's kind of a very angular object.
Mm-hmm. It's a little weird seeing random things appear and disappear, but it's fine. Yeah. That is what I was worried about, I suppose.
So what made you decide to make this change for your stream?
Editing purposes, mostly just like because it's so much easier to not have to edit, or really or like to have to edit less.
Okay.
When I'm speeding it up. So I don't know if you've ever seen a speed paint that isn't recorded in an optimal way and that isn't edited. But basically, when you're zooming in and out, because like at normal speed, it looks fine. Like you zoom in, you do like one little detail, you zoom back out to see the full picture. At normal speed, it looks fine. But when you speed it up, depending on how much you speed up, it can be like one frame of it zoomed in or one frame of it zoomed out. And so it just kind of flashes on the screen and it's really jarring. And so I always edit that stuff out. But
I get you.
But it's just so much easier to not have to do that step.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I've been considering, at least I haven't decided, but I've been considering, instead of doing like a full-on summary of my normal redesigns, and so not these ones, I think these ones I'll still do the videos in the same format as usual, but for my other redesigns, I've been considering doing those as shorts instead of as full videos. So that's like a 1-minute video. I think it can be a little bit longer than that, but like generally it's like a minute long video or so. And so I don't want to waste like hours editing out all of the different like flashes of zooming in and out for a 1-minute video. So if I can just take the entire stream or most of the entire stream, condense it down to 1 minute, and then just do some voiceover or something just to talk about what the process was. Easy. And then that's a good way to just kind of fill a week where I don't have another video or something like that. It's a much faster process.
Yeah, that makes sense. Someone in chat mentioned that it's weird to see a herbivore with fangs, and that didn't even really occur to me. I don't think of that often I'm drawing Pokemon because I just carried over fangs from its original design.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that Pokemon does kind of often, actually. I'm thinking of like Spheal and
Well, I don't think Spheal would be a herbivore.
well, maybe when it's Spheal at least. I don't know if Spheal's going on hunts, but I guess it's just growing into them later.
Well, I mean, maybe Spheal isn't the best at hunting, but you know, seals are hunters. So
True, true. Now I'm
um,
looking through Rhyhorn's Pokedex to see if it's got anything weird where it does a hunt, but no, it seems like it's pretty much just based on rhinos. So
I would think that like maybe it doesn't hunt, but maybe it eats rocks because a lot of rock type Pokemon are said to eat rocks. And so if it eats rocks, maybe the fangs are to help break into the rock or something.
I feel like your fang would just crack on a rock, though. You
Well,
know?
if your fang is made of rock proof material,
I
um,
guess.
then like I know that for crushing usually you have like molars and stuff, so you have flat teeth. But maybe in the case of a rock, you want something that is sharp to kind of like get that crack in, break it apart. I don't know. Diamond
Well,
Fang, yeah, maybe.
the red and blue Pokedex entry claim that its bones are 1,000 times harder than human bones. So I guess they'd be very resistant to cracking.
I mean,
1,000 times. Exactly.
yes, 1,000 times exactly. Um, but my question then is like, is 1,000 times stronger than human bone significant? Um, or like maybe 1,000 times stronger than human bone is still really weak. I don't know.
I'm gonna bet it's pretty soon. I bet if you looked on YouTube, you could find someone biting into like a soft rock and breaking it. So like, I'm sure that Rhyhorn could probably eat them. It actually doesn't talk about in any of its Pokedex entries what it eats, though. It is a mystery if this Pokemon is a technically a herbivore or a carnivore.
Well, I guess we're redesigning it. We can make that decision. Is this a herbivore that just happens to have fangs, or is it a carnivore, or is it a rockivore?
Yeah,
It's your design. You decide.
we'll say he eats rocks. I like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, all of its Pokedex entries are just like it tackles real hard, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
That's its hunting strategy.
Yeah.
It just tackles. And that's it. We don't know what it's tackling. We don't know whether it's eating what it tackles, but it tackles. It may be Geovoros. Is that the technical term for eating rock? I like rockivore. It sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like music.
Sounds like something you don't want to Google.
There are a lot of things you probably don't want to Google. I feel like we often talk about things that you shouldn't Google. Like if you don't know what this is, you probably don't want to find out. That was basically Ness's design for um, Raticate, inspired by Rat Kings. If you don't know what that is, you probably don't want to find out.
I mean, thankfully that one's an urban legend, so thank goodness.
It's not entirely an urban legend. It's a not necessarily confirmed. Like the urban legend is kind of an exaggeration of what is probably the real case.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of what I gathered when I looked it up too, because I wanted to know if that was happening all the time, and basically like history was like maybe it could, and I was like okay.
yeah. It also says this doesn't even remember why it's charging, which is really weird.
Yeah, its Pokedex entries seem to focus on two primary things, and it's that Rhyhorn tackles a lot, and Rhyhorn is very stupid. So I feel bad for Rhyhorn.
If you ever wanted to train a Rhyhorn, give up on it, because these things are dim. Just catch a Rhydon and maybe you'll have better luck.
Yeah. How do you feel about Rhyperior as a design?
I hate it.
That's probably yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat.
Okay.
I was treading carefully though, in case you were into it.
No, this is an anti Rhyperior space. Like I feel that original Rhydon is pretty close to perfect for what it is, for what it tries to be. And so then like trying to do something extra with it, but just like adding a whole bunch of elements that I feel weren't in the original. It's like now it has a construction theme, but there was no construction theme to Rhydon at all, like except maybe the drill horn.
Yeah. I feel like strangely it would fit in better with what we are creating today, but I still don't like it. I think I would design it differently for sure.
It is a more like thematically, it does feel like a more natural progression because at least this is tools, right? So
Yeah.
it's already about building stuff. But yeah, no, I would still want to do it differently.
Yeah. It doesn't help that Rhydon kind of feels like a fully realized design.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you do when you have something like that that evolves?
What you do is you don't evolve it.
It should have been Jinx. They should have fixed Jinx instead.
I mean, I bet there's a good reason they didn't want to. They're like, let's not touch that. But
Yeah.
but yes, it is. Jinx is definitely one that's more deserving of an update of some kind than Rhydon was.
They kind of felt like a trio because it was these three single stage Pokemon that were introduced in Gen 1, which shared the type of the legendaries. And then in Gen 2, they all got their pre evolutions. And then in Gen 4, two of them got evolutions and they left out Jinx. Probably because Jinx is a little problematic, but you know.
Yeah. How's that looking? Do I need to adjust it?
I think you've got a good handle on my design for sure.
Does the head need to be a little bit higher?
Maybe because the mouth's open.
Oh no, I just accidentally selected all the layers. Okay. I was like, did I draw the legs on the same layer as the head? No, apparently not.
I did some rare digital art last week, and I was understanding those struggles.
I did draw something on the wrong layer here, but it's fine. Okay. Rare digital art, as in digital art for rare, or as in digital art that you don't normally do?
Yes.
Or both.
It's been most of my art lately, just rare related, but I'm enjoying it, and I've been able to sell a good amount of it, so that's nice.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm gonna leave this one for now. We'll do Rhydon, and we'll come back to this one afterwards.
Okay.
these guys back on. And I think you agree to go with the with mostly the pose that's on the top right here.
Yeah, I think that one is the most dynamic of the three. The middle one is just sad. Please help that one.
The middle one is like it feels like a character reference sheet drawing. It's just like this is what it looks like. Like that's it. It's just an objective rendition of the Pokemon, and you don't
He
need
looks like
anything else.
he looks like he's T-posing to assert dominance.
Or that. I feel like the bottom one is more the T posing. Well, at least it's the more dominant one.
Yeah.
It's a slightly less T pose. It's a more of a Y pose, but still.
At least a little more dynamic, a bigger
Yeah.
mouth, stuff like that.
Oh, you're not supposed to be in this group. There we go. Pokemon's magic system doesn't require the Pokemon to have a super high mental agility to shoot fire. I'm guessing that is about how dumb Rhyhorn is. Sometimes
your voice-
chat goes faster than I can keep up with.
Your voice is cutting out a little bit there.
Hopefully it's only to you and not to everyone.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Hopefully it's only Discord and not like my microphone dying for no reason. Because that would be bad. That would be very bad. Hello, Star Spectrum. Welcome. Did you change the bottom of the head, like the chin that isn't a chin and the like cheekbones?
I did. I tried to make them a little craggier because I sort of wanted them to look like a beard because I was very leaning into the mechanic aesthetic.
Okay.
I'm okay with removing that if you think that makes it look too cluttered.
No, it's more that I think that Rhyhorn's like the shape of Rhyhorn's cheekbone, the like almost like a flower shape on the sides. It isn't quite as evident in this art that we have big, but in the modern official art, let me make it like it has the like spiky cheeks, and then it also has that like flare out the back, and I feel like that's pretty iconic. Not that we necessarily need to keep it or anything. It's just if I was designing it, I would probably want to like use that somehow.
Okay.
So I was just
I
wanted
definitely
to.
edited that out of mine.
Okay.
That was more purposeful, just because I've always felt that was strange. But if you feel it's iconic, we can try to bring it back in a little bit.
It's yeah. No, I feel like it's iconic as like the first Pokemon, and like the generic Pokemon statues in Generation 1 had that. And Rhydon is, as far as we know, the first Pokemon that was ever designed, and so it's like the the like classic Pokemon look, I think, like generic Pokemon. But we're not trying to be generic, so it's fine if we don't use it.
I'm looking it up, and I don't think the original statues have that flare.
Don't they?
The original statues are like really just because the way that the menu icons look in Gen 1 is very basic, so it's like meant to apply to so many different Pokemon because they didn't each have their own sprite. To me,
Where
it was
is
just
it?
like arms that were out. Is that reading as like the flare out on the neck to you?
Well, I'm not looking at them right now, so I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's only in a specific instance, like maybe it's only in the Gen 3 version of it or the Let's Go version of it that it's more prominent, but yeah, it's probably just my memory merging things.
You wanted to believe it was there because you love Rhydon. I understand.
I don't even love Rhydon that much. I like it, but I don't think it's that special overall.
It does feel like a very Pokemon. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
But yeah, the scraggly beard look, that is fine with me.
Rhydon is the plain flavored potato chip at the party. You don't need it there, but you expect it to be there.
That's a good way to put it. Do you think if there's no plain flavored potato chip at the party, that there's going to be a huge outcry about not including every potato chip?
I hope not. I sincerely hope not.
Bring back the national potatoes? I don't know. Rhydon is the first Pokemon, so it makes sense that it feels like the most Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Max, don't talk about food. I'm gonna get hungry. Don't do that until like the end of stream. Then we can talk about food.
Yeah, April says if there's dip, you need plain chips. We can't all dip a Dorito in a taco dip.
Okay, now this is an interesting thing to pose to chat.
Okay.
If you have a flavored chip, will you still dip it? Or is that too much flavor going on in your mouth? Because to me, if I see like a Cool Ranch or a nacho cheese, like I can put more dip on that. I could add anything to that. That's great.
I have never considered this. I feel like if they're like complementary flavors, why not? But it probably wouldn't be my first thought. I would probably pick the unflavored chip to
Okay.
dip.
I think that's fair. I love really weird flavored chips, so I will stack flavors on top of flavors. I have no problem with that.
The way that April said that, I'm guessing this is a conversation or a debate you've had in the past.
I got a little called out the last time there was a party at the house because I think I was going pretty hard on the taco dip and I had like some sort of like cheddar cheese zesty I don't even know what they were, cheddar and sour cream maybe.
Okay.
I would just a lot of flavor.
And there was no plain flavor option.
Oh, there was. I was just choosing to use the zesty one.
Oh, I see. Well, I thought maybe April was complaining that there was no alternative, that it was only the way that you have it.
No, she
Well,
just
that was
thinks
the
I'm
only
an
option.
animal,
Okay.
which is probably fair.
Aiden says that the only flavored chip that they dip is Cool Ranch. So maybe Cool Ranch is like the flavored dippable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't generally dip chips anyway, says Gano. I guess I don't either. Like, if it's like Tostitos, those are made for dips, right? So,
Yeah.
so
Sure.
yeah, but I probably wouldn't think to dip Doritos.
I don't think I could sit there and just eat corn chips because that's just like corn on salt. I mean, I probably would because I love chips, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
Would you dip Doritos wasabi? Wasabi Doritos? I've never had them, and I probably wouldn't because I'm not a huge fan of wasabi anyway.
I would do it, but that would be pretty overpowering. I would at least try it.
Try everything once, I guess.
My husband just popped in chat to say that chips are gross. You know what? More for me. Perfect.
Chips are gross? Like, chips in general are gross?
Yeah, he doesn't like any chips.
That is
Which
a
is great.
weird...
I
Yeah.
agree that it's weird, but I don't have to share, which is just the ideal relationship.
Fair. In this case, not sharing is caring. And that's just a win-win for everyone.
I think everyone gets a little possessive about food, especially if they're hungry. Someone's like, hey, can I have a bite? They're like, no, for me.
If you like plan ahead and you say, hey, if you order fries, can I have some? Then sure. But if you order fries and then someone is like, hey, can I have some after you've already psyched yourself up, or you've already gotten used to the idea that you're gonna get all of those fries to yourself, then it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I'm the person who will steal the fries. Full disclosure.
Well, I suppose if the people who are with you know that that's a thing, then they can mentally prepare themselves before it actually happens. Are you at all attached to the way that you drew the legs? Or
I'm fine
as opposed
spreading-
to the way the
I'm
official
totally
legs look?
fine with the. I want to put the kind of like dirt smears on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I sort of imagined like that would be just more grime on him, but yeah, no. The shape of the legs themselves go crazy.
Okay.
Is there any rock Pokemon that could not be rock ground? Like a Pokemon,
Probably a few, I would say. Like, there's definitely many pure rock types that could be rock ground. But if you're just saying rock types in general, then yeah. Like, I wouldn't put ground type on a Barbaracle, for example.
I think that Rockruff is pretty distinctly rock and not ground.
Yeah,
I do agree that those two types, though, are so similar.
Yeah, for sure.
They in a lot of cases they could be combined, and they are with Pokemon like Rhydon and Onix.
Yeah, like, I think that they are conceptually different enough, but in, like, execution, they're not really.
Yeah, like Carbink is very clearly rock and not ground.
Yeah, and then you have the ones that are more about mud, like Swampert, for example. Like, that's very much ground and not rock.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, for thematic sake, you could you could combine those two concepts. Just call
Yeah,
it Earth
you
and
could
be done with it, you know?
yeah, you could combine them and just call it Earth, and that would probably be good enough.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do that. I would maybe go for like Earth or soil versus mineral or something like that.
Right.
To kind of, rather than merging them, I think I would favor differentiating them more clearly. But I don't know, if you have a limit of how many types you can fit or something like that, it wouldn't be the worst thing to
Yeah.
do. Since Rhydon has the kind of striped or segmented belly, and Rhyhorn has that on its legs, would it make sense to actually give the belly on Rhydon a different color as well, so that it's not just dirt colored? So that it's more of a artificial grip color?
Yeah, if you want to introduce a third color, I think that's fine. I think we'd probably also want to put it on maybe the horn or the spine, but I don't know yet.
Well, we'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
Is Rhyhorn supposed to? Does Rhyhorn have two sets of spines on its back, or does it have only one?
I drew it with one. I don't really know what's going on OG Rhyhorn.
Yeah, I'd have to look at like its model or its back spread or something. But the thing is that I noticed that right where I was drawing here, the spines on the back very clearly end up on one side of the tail, and that would only
Yeah.
make sense if there's two of them.
From official figures I'm seeing, it looks like it's just one row.
Okay, so Ken Sugimori messed up.
He goofed it.
he gave Kadabra an extra thumb and then had to white it out, erase it, but left the space. That is actually what happened.
Oh my gosh, on the original Kadabra art?
Yeah,
I gotta look this up now.
it has. So it kind of looks like it has. It kind of looks like it's doing this, like the rock symbol or something, right? Because like it has the space for a third finger in the middle that got erased.
It looks... He should have just redrawn that. I'm looking at it now, and it's like, come on, bud. Come on. That's really funny.
It's the kind of thing that you probably wouldn't think too much of if you didn't know about it.
Yeah,
Or
but
when
now
you know
that I
about it,
see
it's really obvious.
Now that I see, that's like what you do for like art class when you're like, oh, I gotta turn this in like 10 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah.
He was probably like, no one's gonna care about Pokemon in 20 years.
I mean, I hope that's not what he was thinking, but I suppose it could be. So, yesterday, just changing the topic a little bit, but yesterday, I finally finished the brand new video game, Spider-Man, for the PS4.
Hey, look at you! Congratulations! Did you enjoy it?
I did. to be fair, I'd beaten the like main game a while ago. I don't know, a few weeks ago at this point. But I was playing the DLC, and I had to. I'm gonna have to refine these spines a lot, but that's okay. I had to
Yeah, I'd
reduce.
like to see them a little more curved, but
Yeah,
that's okay
yeah.
if they're not.
No, I think they do need to be more curved. But yeah, I played most of the game on, I don't remember what it's called now, but like the third level of difficulty. I don't know. Normal, probably. I think there's 5 levels, and I played it most of the game on the middle level. But then when I got close to the end of the game, I hadn't played it for a long time when I picked it back up and I was at the end. So I had to reduce it. I had to reduce the difficulty one step, and once I got to the DLC, I had to reduce it again. So I was playing on the like easiest mode, and I discovered that that was a lot more fun than struggling to defeat the bad guys.
Yeah. I really like that games have difficulty settings because I personally am someone who wants games to just totally step on me, and I want to like struggle a few times on bosses and not win the first time because I feel more gratified when I beat them that way. But
Yeah.
some people hate that, and that's valid. That's totally fine. Everyone should be able to play games the way they want.
Well, I like to play them the way that you described. I like to play them like I like to be defeated a couple of times before I get it.
Yeah.
But when I was playing the end of the game and then the DLC, I was being defeated all the time. And I was like, I am overwhelmed. I don't even know what I need to do differently in order to win this. So what I need to do differently is I need to turn the difficulty down so that I'll actually enjoy it, because I wasn't enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
It was like, this is too difficult. I'm getting frustrated. If I don't do something about it, I'm gonna give up on the game again.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I reduced the difficulty and I started having fun again, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it.
So now I look forward to playing Miles Morales.
I am so out of the scene on what's going on with the PS5 because I just don't have one yet. Is that out yet?
The PS5 is out, but I don't have a PS5 either.
Oh, no. Is the Miles Morales game out for PS5?
Oh, it is out for PS5, but we have it for PS4.
Okay. Came out on both. Look what I know.
Yeah.
So sorry. Sorry, Frankie. I'm a disgrace to gaming.
So I look forward to playing it. I've heard that it's a shorter game, which is good because Spider-Man was definitely too long.
Okay.
And I've heard that the playstyle is also a little bit different, so I definitely look forward to trying that out.
Yeah, I hear it's similar and good, and thank you guys. I thought that it had come out, but I didn't want to be too sure. It's very outside of the wheelhouse of games that I play, so I wasn't really up on that. Wanted to make sure it wasn't like one of those titles that just gets delayed indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think that Insomniac's pretty good about that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't know. I don't really like pay attention to who the developer is for any games. So I know that that one is Insomniac, but I don't know like anything else that they've done.
I'm really into them because of the Spyro games, but they don't own the rights to that franchise anymore. It's been a long time since they worked on it. But the 3 ones that they made are the good Spyro games.
Gotcha. How's this looking?
It's looking pretty good. I would like to see the beard become a little bit more rock-like. It looks a tad fuzzy right now, but I think other than that, I don't really have any issues.
Okay. I can do that. I can fix it.
Yeah.
More rocky.
I guess more angular in the shapes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Jenkins, while I do like Skylanders, Skylanders is not a Spyro game. Skylanders is a game that has Spyro. Important distinction.
Are you trying to tell me that Super Smash Brothers is not a Pokemon game?
I am trying to tell you that.
To be fair, I pretty much only play Super Smash Brothers as either Link, occasionally any of the other swordsmen because I like the swordsmen, but usually either Link or Lucario. So,
It's
you
so
know,
funny
it pretty
to
much
hear,
is a Pokemon game. It's a Pokemon game and a Zelda game, but that's
It's a
it.
Pokemon game for you. For me, it's a rare game because I just play Banjo and Donkey Kong and K. Rool. So, like, there you go. It's nice to hear someone express positive views on the swordsman because the fandom as a whole is so fed up with them. But it's like, sorry that it's the most common weapon.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird. Like I like them. Like you're just fighting with swords. Like what's the problem with that? Like I guess that there's a lot of them for sure, and so many of them end up being kind of similar. But because I only play, I don't play very much. Like I haven't played Super Smash Brothers in months, so it doesn't really get old for me. Maybe if I played it regularly, maybe if I was like a competitive Smash player or something like that, maybe it would be like, these are all the same. Maybe. But yeah, it doesn't get to the point that it bothers me. Is this better?
Yeah, I like that better. I think there's an argument to be made about Smash Bros. That there isn't a lot of Western franchises represented in Smash Bros. But you know, like it's a primarily Japanese developed game, and Nintendo's a primarily Japanese company. So
yeah,
it
it
is.
is. And correct me if I'm wrong, but historically it's been Nintendo games, right?
Yeah.
Like it's only recently that they started adding non-Nintendo games.
Yeah, the first couple titles did not have any guest characters, and
Yeah.
then they started adding guest characters, and people loved it. So then it sort of became this just meeting of all these different franchises and companies.
Yeah, but even then, it's still like games that exist on Nintendo consoles, right?
Oh, I mean, like they've kind of branched out. Like they have like 2 Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I guess you can get a port of Final Fantasy VII. I guess Minecraft is. Hold on now.
Minecraft
Are these
is on
all
Switch.
characters that exist on Nintendo consoles? Has there been a Fatal Fury Nintendo release for Terry?
I don't even know what that is, but
I think that might strictly be arcades. In any case, they've definitely branched out a lot, especially now that they're focusing on DLC and it's normally a guest character.
all right. Are you happy with the way that these two look?
Yeah. I think both of them look great. Thank you, April. I clearly don't know what's going on Nintendo consoles. Trying to think of a character in Smash now that's never appeared on a Nintendo console until Smash. I'm wondering if that is a thing.
I don't think so, because I could be wrong, but I think that being on a Nintendo console is like one of the criteria to be eligible for Smash.
Solid Snake?
Uh,
Oh
per,
yeah, Joker would count too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
But
pretty sure.
I guess Strikers is on the Switch now, but he came out before Strikers came out, so. Hmm. I
Next
don't think
Smash
he would
character
be
should be
for-
Master Chief from Halo. That's one that I've heard a lot of people asking for. But like I said, like I haven't played it in months. I haven't played any of the DLC characters. Like I don't keep up with it. And honestly, I think that Ultimate doesn't have trophies. Is that right? Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, you're remembering correctly. They wanted to add like a bunch more and they took them out, but I loved the trophies. I get it, but it's sad.
Yeah. And no, trophies were one of my favorite things about Smash.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think they basically got replaced with the spirits. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was pretty much the shift.
Okay. And it has been this long. I actually don't remember very much about it anymore. But like, can you see you can see descriptions similar to what you had for the trophies, like a little blurb about the character or the item or whatever and the game that it was in. Do you still have that for spirits?
You are asking the wrong person. I've played
Okay.
very little one-player Smash. I'm sure someone can answer that.
Yeah, I
sure
think
someone in
there
chat
is,
has
but
gotta
it's
know.
just like the trophies they were a really cool collectible, and definitely one of the things that attracted me to Smash in the first place. So like, I got Ultimate. I enjoyed playing it, but because I pretty much only play single player, I got kind of bored of it quickly. I didn't like the single player. What was it called? Yeah, the
World of Light, I think.
World of Light. Yeah, I didn't enjoy
There
it
we
very
go.
much. I didn't enjoy it very much. I didn't play it all the way to the end. Like I didn't even finish that. So I think people. I think like the community in general doesn't really like Subspace Emissary. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, it's divisive. I've heard it's very fanficky, for lack of a better describer.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you were into it.
So, yeah. So that's the. There are no descriptions for spirits. Okay, so that
That's
probably.
insane. That seems like that would take like a team like a very small amount of time to add.
Yeah, so that's definitely part of the reason that I don't like it as much.
Yeah, because it's fun to be like, oh, who is this? Where are they from? Why are they popular?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. The community loves Subspace. Oh, I mean, maybe we see different parts of the community. I'm not like in the Smash community, but I've definitely seen people hating on it.
Yeah, I've definitely had some friends be like, it's the worst.
Yeah.
But I guess that's why it's divisive. So
Yeah, I guess
glad
so.
that people like it.
But like, I don't even follow like competitive Smash at all. Like where I enjoy watching competitive Pokemon. Competitive Smash for me, I don't know, I find it exasperating. Like it's cool to see the really high level plays and stuff, but I feel like it's from the little that I've seen, and it has been very little, I feel like it's kind of samey and
Yeah.
just like
I enjoy it. It's a lot less samey than watching like competitive Melee. Competitive Melee is like cool. Watch Fox fight Fox, and you're like, okay. So it's definitely nice that the modern games benefit from like balance patches and stuff. But of course, there's still tiers and characters you don't really ever see.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna do one more kind of cleanup. Not final lines yet, but like I'll do cleanup of the lines. We can put some colors in, and that'll be it probably.
Wonderful. Not that I don't love being here hanging out. We just talked about chips for 10 minutes, so go and scratch that itch.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the thing with like competitive Smash for me, it just I guess it's a little bit of like there is no way I can play on that level, which is fine. But I've also seen people like I guess be kind of snobby about not playing about the way that I play because I played Smash as a button smasher.
Oh, well, that's fine if you're having fun, you know? Like, I mean, like, you're really into watching soccer, and you certainly can't play on that level, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. um, but yeah, like I've seen people be kind of snobby about playing as a button smasher, and that's the way that I enjoy it. Like I get some of the like, oh, if I do this and then I do this, then it's better. But for the most part, I'm like, I'm pressing A for everything, or B for everything, depending on the character, and just like always using Link's up special, like the twirl, like that's my bread and butter in Smash, right? And so if people look down on that style of play and like therefore I'm not going to enjoy playing it online, which I don't, then I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna go do something else.
I think the really competitive parts of a community being snobby about it is a frustrating part of any game with a competitive scene. I really like competitive Pokemon, and I know that you like it as well, but it's frustrating to see like really high tier players like kind of scoffing at people who like don't EV train and play the way they want. And like the whole point of games is that you're just having a good time. And I think that's especially true of like a party game like Smash. Like if you want to play and always play the same character and play with items on high and just do it your thing, like why not? Why not?
I haven't seen much of that from the competitive Pokemon players that I follow. A lot of them actually seem really keen on education and like helping people who want to get better at Pokemon to improve, and I really appreciate that.
I do,
but I do mostly focus on like VGC and not on Smogon, yeah.
I know that when I used to be active on the Pokemon subreddit, almost any time competitive aspect of the game brought up, someone in the comments was like, that ruins the game for me. I hate when people like try to push on me to play that way. And like, that's fair.
Yeah.
I get it. Those comments are always pretty high up. So there's got to be some people out there that are just real jerks about it.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, like back in the day, like PMF days, like when I was in high school, I did go on, I think, the Smogon forums and try to like come up with competitively viable teams, and the people there were quite snobby, and maybe that's why I didn't stick with it for very long.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely encountered some of that too, where I've been trying to make a team in a higher tier and using a lower tier Pokemon tier, but I still want to use what I want.
Yeah.
I want to try to win with the stuff that I like, because that's what makes me the happiest, not
the most successful.
Yeah, not just like going to the boards and seeing what the top tier Pokemon are and just building a team around that.
Yeah. do you ever think about the Pokemon VGC champ that had his title removed because he pooped in a hallway in a hotel and left a note that a wild Diglett appeared? I have never heard of this.
That is 100% true story. I hadn't thought about him in a while. I am now.
I had never heard of this.
No.
Is it very recent or very old?
No, this happened probably like early 2010s.
Oh, so like earliest days of VGC.
Let me look it up. Google is just gonna yell at me for searching this. Poop in hallway VGC. Yeah, this was a story that broke in March of 2012.
2012. Yeah, 2012. I probably wasn't paying too much attention to VGC yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I think I started paying attention to VGC when they started putting the finals on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which was maybe, I don't know, 2015, 2016, I feel like. I think it was X and Y era.
I can't believe this guy was not only a player of the VGC, but he was the UK champ. And he had his title stripped away.
But it was a national champion, not a world champion.
Still.
But I think I think I would have been more likely to hear about the world champions because that's the level that I pay attention to nowadays.
Right.
Like I don't really watch a lot of nationals and internationals. I watch worlds mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watch the others sometimes, but mostly I just watch worlds. Did Sharon just pop in? Just Sharon's question is just VGC topics?
Hello?
You
No, unfortunately, we're just talking
rang.
about poop.
Did you know about this, Sharon? About the poop in the hallway?
It's kind of a vintage story at this point.
Yeah. But if any of my like close friends that I interact with on a daily basis and that I talk about VGC on a daily basis, if any of them know about the story, it's probably Sharon. Sounds familiar. Yeah. Oh, someone is. There's also a chat conversation going on about Star Wars. Something about
Are you
General
a Star
Grievous.
Wars fan, Libris? I don't remember.
Sorry?
Are you a Star Wars fan?
I wouldn't call myself a Star Wars fan, no.
Are you a person who enjoys and partakes in Star Wars?
I have enjoyed the Star Wars movies.
Okay.
I have never played a Star Wars game. I have never read a Star Wars book. I have... yeah, I don't even think I've seen any of the Star Wars series. Like, I've never seen Mandalorian, and I don't think I even saw, like, Clone Wars? That was the name of the cartoon, right?
Yeah, don't feel bad. There is so much Star Wars content to absorb. It's almost too much for any one person. Then
Yeah,
again,
no, I don't.
we're running a Pokemon stream, so like I don't know if I can say that, but
What can't you say? You can say
that
whatever
it's
you want.
that it's too hard to absorb all of Star Wars because clearly we know a little too much about this franchise as is, and it has a similar amount of just insane amounts of content.
Oh yeah, it does. But um, I don't have like Star Wars hot takes or anything. Although I'm told that thinking that the eighth movie is really good is a hot take.
Oh, the eighth movie is really good. Correct take. Good job.
Uh, I haven't actually seen the ninth movie yet,
Oh,
and I have
you're
not
good.
seen.
You're fine.
Oh well,
Just tap out there.
on Discord, we've actually been watching all of the Star Wars movies.
Oh.
We
I'm sorry for the ninth.
Yeah.
That's all I have to really say about that.
we have watched up until the eighth, so there's the ninth one and there's Solo. I think those are the only ones that are left.
Yeah.
We've been watching on what was supposed to be a weekly basis, but we'd skip most weeks. Just like someone forgets or someone isn't available for whatever reason, something like that. So
Thankfully, chat is with me on this. I think the ninth film is almost universally disliked. I actually felt fairly positive about it directly after I saw it, and the more that I thought about it, the more that I didn't like it.
That's fair. Like that's how I often experience movies. Like I watch it, I just kind of enjoy it while I'm watching it, and if I think about it at all, it's going to be afterwards.
Yeah, surface level, it is a popcorn film that you'll be like, "Oh, action!" But I don't want to get deep into it because you haven't seen it yet. But we'll chat. We'll chat on next month's stream about how you feel about episode 9.
Episode 9 doesn't exist.
Yeah. I feel you, chat. I am with you on this. I'm glad that all Star Wars fans can agree that it is not good.
Does this Rhyhorn look okay? I feel like there's something wrong with the leg. The back leg in particular.
Oh, wait, too. Can you try scooting? Are the legs on their separate layer?
Not at the moment. Or not this drawing. The previous sketch is, so I can still move that.
I feel like if the whole leg layer was scooted a little bit to the right, it would look better.
All legs?
All legs.
All legs. Well, in that case, I'll just copy the legs to their own layer. And then adjust
It could be
as
wrong,
necessary.
though. I'll have to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess episode 9 is nice that we can all enjoy hating episode 9. That's kind of fun, right? Everyone dislikes something different about it, which in a way is special.
My rewatching the movies. So I hadn't seen episode. I hadn't seen anything newer than episode 8, but I had seen everything before that. But rewatching the movies has reinforced my general opinion of Star Wars. They are fine, enjoyable movies, and that's it. For the most part. Like, Rogue One, I think, is really good in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, independent of being a Star Wars movie. And episode 8 is pretty good too, but I think that's more like in the Star Wars context. But yeah, they are fine movies that I enjoy watching.
I understand why they got so hugely popular because there was so little sci-fi to consume back in the day, and that it was so new and different. But it's funny to me that it maintains that level of popularity today, just because there's so many different films and franchises you can consume. Which is not to say I don't like Star Wars. It's just there's just so many things that can compete for your time now. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I think I need to adjust the like shape of the back leg.
Jenkins, don't get into this again. We don't need to fight in chat.
Star Wars is fantasy, not sci-fi. Without having heard any arguments about it, I feel like I can agree.
It's both, which is what makes it a compelling argument. Like if you have to pick one side, it's really hard to pick one side because obviously it takes elements from both.
Yeah. Hello, Lucas. Says cool Rhyhorn. I'm drawing a monster right now too. Big angry koala mon. Greetings from Rio. Lucas, I hope that you are a Fluminense fan. If you like soccer at all, obviously you don't have to like soccer, but fantasy and sci-fi are overlapping genres, but they are not the same genre.
Fantasy normally has to deal with supernatural, magical things, and sci-fi normally has to deal with ramifications humans have made to the world and machines kind of changing the way that we live. But yeah, there's definitely things about them both.
The way that I like to think about it is that science fiction exists on our timeline. Like, it's an extrapolation of what we have now, usually into the middle or far future. Whereas fantasy is more on an alternate timeline.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sci-fi is normally like, hey, this is what happened earlier, and this is what's happening in the future because of like things that you would relate to reality. And fantasy is just there's nothing that we could do in our world to become a fantasy world. It's just too far distant.
Yeah, there's no amount of technology that's going to turn us into Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a better, like, equally universal example so that I wouldn't have to talk about Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter's no good anymore. We don't talk about that one. What a bummer.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Harry Potter. It's a shame how the whole franchise just disappeared.
Sorry, what franchise disappeared?
I don't know. I think we were talking about Lord of the Rings, the greatest fantasy.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I can agree that Lord of the Rings is the greatest fantasy, because I have only ever read The Hobbit. I didn't read any of the Lord of the Rings proper. And while I have technically watched the first two, I think the first two movies of the Lord of the Rings, the first one I watched in full, but I watched it in black and white because the time that I watched it, our TV and our DVD player were not compatible. So it got the image, but it didn't get any color information. So I watched the entire movie in black and white.
Hilarious. You're probably one of the only people who's experienced it that way.
Probably. The thing is that this was back when Brazil was switching from PAL as like the PAL standard that is I think the European
NTSC.
standard.
Yeah.
And switching to NTSC. Yeah. So my mom got a new DVD player, and the DVD player was NTSC, but our TV was still PAL.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so I watched it in black and white. The second movie, I watched it in color, but I watched it in uh like a hotel theater kind of thing. And I arrived late, so I missed maybe the first 20 minutes, half an hour or so. And there were some other rowdy teenagers in the room. And so I got really fed up with them towards the end, and so I left early. So I didn't see the last 20 minutes to half an hour or so.
Bummer.
But and I don't think I've seen the third movie at all. I've tried seeing the first movie again, and both times I fell asleep.
Well, if you ever have a lot of coffee on hand, I think they're worth your time. They definitely still hold up.
Not coffee for me because I don't drink coffee.
Soda,
Yeah, I could probably do it with Coca-Cola.
non-distinctive caffeine.
I'm happy to promote Coca-Cola. I've been drinking it since I was a child, since I can remember, since as long as I can remember. So, come
Yeah,
on
I
over
feel like that's a
sometime.
bit
We'll
of a
watch all
leg.
3 extended cuts back to back. That sounds exhausting. And no, half,
Yeah.
I have not watched the Hobbit trilogy. I have read The Hobbit, and I thought it was boring. So.
I think a marathon of all 3 extended cuts back to back has happened 2 times in our home in the past year. It is a
In the
common
past
occurrence.
year?
In the past year.
Why?
April is very into Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
It is her jam.
All right, well, sell me on it then.
That's up to April. That's not up to me. April, put your big paragraph in chat. Tell everyone why it's the best.
Yeah, and to answer Gabriel, yes, I am Brazilian. I'm carioca. And I missed Gano's pun. Hang on, I gotta go back and see Gano's pun. I guess your DVD player, I guess your DVD player and your TV were not very good pals. Thank you for that, Gano, and thank you for
Pretty good. Thank you.
and thank you for making me go back to see it. I wouldn't have wanted to miss it. In your drawing of Rhyhorn here, Julie, I noticed that the tips of the spikes on the back are darker. Is that just like some shading, or is it actually like a coloring feature that you had in mind?
That was definitely just meant to be shading.
Okay.
Sorry if that's a little confusing.
Oh, it's fine. Just gotta make sure that's not something I need to worry about.
I like how this is so surprising that people are figuring out you're Brazilian. Because, of course, like, that's the context that I met you in.
Right. Yeah.
You, like, lived in Brazil when I started talking to you.
Yeah. I've mentioned so often in videos and such that I'm Brazilian. So I do always find it a little bit surprising. Like, obviously not everyone is going to watch every single video, and so it's not surprising that some people didn't pick up on that, or like especially newer viewers. But it has happened a lot recently. I've seen a lot of comments recently where people are like, "Hey, you're Brazilian? Have you not noticed me like streaming with a Fluminense jersey like almost every week?"
I don't know if a lot of people know what that means. And it is kind of a bummer that people just assume the default is American.
I guess so, but like usually the "Hey, you're Brazilian" thing, it's usually coming from other Brazilians.
Yeah, because they're just excited. They're like, my people!
Yeah, exactly. And that's why like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, even though you can't like full like the cut of the camera doesn't show the like chest plate that would be really identifiable, Um, the colors are really iconic for anyone that watches soccer. For well, at least anyone in Brazil that watches soccer. So
Right.
I feel like it's if I was watching something and I saw these colors, maybe I wouldn't immediately assume that the person is Brazilian, but I would like that would definitely be my first connection.
Yeah.
It's so iconic that it's traumatizing, Hafa. Um, I thought you didn't watch soccer very much, and maybe that's the point. But like, did you used to support a team that lost terribly to Fluminense, or alternatively, did you support Fluminense and then lost terribly? It's happened. It's happened on both sides. So let me hide the references and I'll put colors in for this guy. It's traumatizing because you kind of hate football. Okay. So it's traumatizing. The traumatizing part is not the colors themselves. It's the fact that I'm wearing them. The fact that I keep exposing you to soccer. In which case, I'm sorry, but there's a state final today, so. What can I do? And lately there's been a lot of games, so because we're playing two different competitions at the same time. And so like even my Wednesday streams, I'm often wearing the jersey, or the like private hangouts that we do on Discord on Sundays. Sometimes I'm wearing the jersey, so there's a lot of opportunities to see me wearing it, and I suppose be traumatized by it.
Sports are one of those things that I feel like non-sports watchers get like offended when you're like, I'm into sports. They're like, gross, and you're like, well, okay.
Yeah. Like,
It's tough too because you're very deep in the Pokemon community, which is like a very nerdy community, and there doesn't tend to be a lot of crossover with that community and sports.
for sure. And I like I understand that a lot of so making generalizations here, so please no one feel offended, but I understand that a lot of like nerdy people might be a little bit traumatized by sports generally from like gym class, for example, and having very bad
Yeah, that's
experiences
fair.
there. Um, I didn't have that. I didn't have bad experiences in gym class. Um, so although I can like understand that that might be a thing that happens to people, I can't exactly relate. And like for me, I have always been not great at sports, but okay at them. Like I played softball in high school. Um, I was on the softball team, um, and maybe that helps, but like even soccer, I'm pretty bad at soccer. And so I only enjoy playing it in very specific contexts, like with friends who won't be upset that I suck. Um, but that wasn't the experience that I had in school. Like in gym class in PE, uh, there were definitely people who were very competitive and who got upset that I sucked. And so like I don't play soccer almost ever. And even in Brazil I didn't. But watching it is a completely different experience. Unless the nerd community is also a weeaboo community because of sports anime. Fair.
Sports anime is huge.
I have never watched one.
I have been fairly out of the anime community. No shame to it. Sometimes I pop my head in and I say cool, but I can't keep up.
Yeah. I don't really watch anime regularly. But I feel like I should watch more anime because watching it in Japanese is a good way to help me retain the Japanese that I'm learning on Duolingo.
Yeah, I do like to watch it with subs when I watch anime. I just try to do that with whatever media. I try to watch it in the original language because I feel like sometimes things are lost during translation.
Yeah, for sure. So, does this look good?
Yeah, cool with that.
I think I need to adjust the head a tiny bit so that, because it looks like the dip isn't perfectly centered with the horn.
If that bothers you, sure.
Yeah, it's fairly minor. And I keep thinking that the wrench that sticks out on the back, that there should be something behind it, like that it should be sticking out, but that part I'm less like, does it just bother me because of some weird expectation, or should I actually like fill it in back there?
You could put in another wrench, but face it so it's kind of pointing towards the viewer, and you could get like a side view of it just for like some space to fill out the butt area a little bit. I think that would be fine.
I'm gonna try adjusting the head, because I think that's more important, because that, like, to me it looks wrong.
Do you mind if I take a quick bathroom break
go ahead.
and get some more water?
I will be here.
Okay, hold down the fort.
I'll do what I
Be right
can.
back.
I guess this is a good opportunity to make sure I'm caught up with the chat. Well, roughly caught up with the chat. I've heard good things about Haikyuu. I've seen a lot of people be excited by it on Twitter and stuff. And Netflix has suggested it to me before, but I have not watched it. When I was watching Cardcaptor Sakura a few months now at this point, it was basically like I watched one episode of it and suddenly every suggestion that Netflix gives me is for anime. Haikyuu is not on Netflix there. I'm pretty sure it is here. I mean, maybe it isn't anymore, but yeah, they definitely recommended it to me. Gano, you think that the insides shouldn't, or should be more angular? I'm gonna have to check with Julie on that, because I agree that they don't necessarily look like wrenches, but I also don't know that they need to. I am happier with the shape of the head now, though. Have I seen Cowboy Bebop? I have not. It's an anime you would insist everyone should see. Okay. No guarantees. Because I've been saying that I should watch more anime for a while, and I have not watched more anime. We're gonna do Cowboy Bebop watching on Discord. If you want to, sure. We're gonna have to watch it in Japanese, though. Hi.
What are we talking about? What'd I miss?
Charon says that everyone should watch Cowboy Bebop.
I've heard that, and there are 2 people in my household trying to get me to watch it, and I have it on Blu-ray, and I have not seen it yet, and I'm so sorry.
Well, I have not seen it at all. I don't even know what it is. So, besides that, it's an anime.
Yeah, it's just it's an older anime, but it's just kind of iconic. I've heard.
I see.
I can't spoil you on it because I don't know it. But
good. I don't want to be spoiled on it.
I know. I try to be good with spoilers around you. You have a very similar policy to spoilers that I do. I felt a little bad when I told you a tad too much about Snap. I hope you weren't too upset with me.
No. Yeah, well, because what you said about Snap, basically, the spoiler was Woobat is in this game.
Yeah.
And, like, that's fine as far as spoilers go for Snap. And I guess Snap spoiler alert in case anyone really cares at this point. But I doubt it. Like, if you told me that Xerneas or that, like, mythical Pokemon are in that game, that would have been more of a spoiler that would have upset me, I guess.
For sure.
But it's just like, oh, this regular Pokemon is in the game. Okay.
Right. Because you missed out on the first Snap, so you didn't know that mythical Pokemon were kind of like a part of that experience.
Yeah, I did know that Mew was like the last one, or you know, there was like the thing you unlock at the very end or something like that.
Yeah.
So that would have been like, it's not surprising that there are mythical Pokemon in New Snap. It's just that if I knew, like, for a fact, because I didn't stop to think about it or anything, right? So if I just, like, stopped and actually thought about how there are mythical Pokemon here, I would have probably been more, like, looking for them. And it was actually a really cool, really special experience to just be like, holy moly, there's a Jirachi over here.
Yeah. I'm really glad you had a good time with it. I enjoyed watching your video on it, and it's probably my new favorite spin-off in the series because I really like just that laid-back experience and how you feel too, where you get to actually see Pokemon behavior, which you can't see anywhere else.
Yeah. While you were away, Gunno pointed out that the wrenches don't look like wrenches because the insides aren't angular. And
Okay.
I mean, like, I agree, but I also don't know if that's super important because they're supposed to, like, at least the way that I interpret it, I feel like they're more supposed to just look like tools than look like specifically wrenches.
Where I was at, where the back was kind of a sawtooth and the head split was kind of a hammer, but it's all supposed to, like, sort of evoke that feel without being too literal. So I don't think you need to change it. I do like the extra wrench that you put in the back. I think that really helps.
Yeah, I feel like that fills it out nicely, and I like the way the head looks now better as well.
Yes.
The thing that I am thinking about now is that it does look more like a steel type.
when I was shading it, I tried to make it a little bumpy. I don't know if that came
Okay.
through a lot. But I think one of the things that could help that as well is changing the gray we have on it to more of a warm gray, because cool grays are really associated with steel.
That's a good idea. This is a zero saturation gray, so it's a contextual gray, a gray that'll look cool against warm colors, and the warm against cool colors. But
yeah, if it was warmed up a little, it would be fine. Something I was also trying to piece together once I added the red, I was like, why does this make it look more steel type? And I realized that's because my brain is so used to Skarmory with that.
Oh, yeah.
That red color as an accent that it kind of reads as steel to me, even though red is not a steel color per se.
I'm gonna put the color way up because I don't want it to be red. I want it to be more brown. So I just want to make sure that I can see.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know actually how much of this is gonna show up in the stream itself. Because I'm adjusting it on okay, no, it does show up. Just not every little change that I make. Okay. What do you think of that?
I like that a lot better. I think that reads a lot more ground.
Skarmory, Bisharp, Scizor, Excadrill, Heatran all make me associate red with steel as well, says Gunno. So,
He's not wrong.
should we maybe do a different color? Red was in the originals. It was like they had red eyes, but other than that, it's not a super strong association with them anyway. I feel like if any strong color is still gonna kind of sound like, is still gonna look more like steel types, but
We could sample other colors, but I'm kind of fond of the red.
if Rhydon has dirty legs, would giving Rhyhorn dirty paws help? It probably would, but I don't know if I would want to like hide the strong color
Yeah.
behind
I
some
kinda like it.
brown.
It feels more modern than old Pokemon designs for sure,
Yeah.
which is the point.
What would other good colors be? What are colors do you associate with tools? Like I associate, I guess, orange.
Orange would be fine. That chartreuse color that's on everything at Home Depot, the Ryobi tools, but I don't know if that'll work well on a Pokemon.
I associate orange with tools because of the Home Depot, but that's like their branding, not so much the tools that they sell. I don't go into the Home Depot, so I don't know what the color that you're thinking of is like.
Yeah, that orange reads very ground-like, the one you had.
Okay, I'll go back to it.
I'll throw an image of the tools I'm talking about in chat. They are just the most chartreuse anything can be. They every time I walk into a hardware store, it's like, here they are, and I'm like, oh, yep, that's them. But I think the orange is more universal and works well with the ground. Yeah. What you said,
I'm going to
Gano.
have a look.
Exactly what you said.
Oh. This definitely looks like a good like lawn tool color.
Yeah. I think it's still fine for us to keep the mouth red, But yeah, I like that as the accent color.
Yeah, the mouth. Ah, damn it! I accidentally pressed cancel instead of okay. Yeah, the
Okay.
mouth we can make it mouth colored. A nice fleshy mouth color.
Okay, hold on now.
Uh-oh.
No, you're fine.
Don't make it too fleshy. Yeah, and this looks nice too because we have the red and the orange. So if we end up putting red or any other color really on Rhydon, then it'll also still have two colors.
Yeah.
This does look less like a steel type to me, which is great.
There you go.
Orange is also common for construction vests and cones and things like that.
Yeah,
Fair? Makes sense?
I'm for it. I'm totally for it.
Okay, yeah, I like it the way it is. So we'll leave that, and we can revisit it after Rhydon is at this stage as well, but I don't know if we'll need to. While I'm remembering and while I have all of you here, I mentioned on YouTube on a community post that I might want to do a longer Conquest stream this week because I had to skip last week's Conquest stream. But I realized I actually can't do a longer one this Wednesday because this Wednesday is when I'm going to go get my vaccine. And that is slightly more important than doing an extra long Conquest stream. Just a little.
I think everyone will understand.
So I will still do a longer Conquest stream to make up for the one that I missed, but it will not be this weekend or this week. It will be next week probably.
I am still chuckling at the frantic Conquest message you sent me where you were like, there has to be an easier way to grind, right? And I was like, uh-oh.
Well, yeah. I discovered I had to look up stuff eventually because it was just like my team levels are progressing too slowly. Something that there must be something better than this. And there is an item that can help you gain link percentage more quickly. And that you can buy fairly early on, but I hadn't been looking at the stores.
There you go.
So, yeah, so I'm going to have to try to, if I can, basically buy that item for like every one of my characters that I have that has a 100% link cap with their Pokemon, and then go back to grinding. But hopefully, it'll be a little bit less painful, a little bit less slow. Because it's annoying. It's just kind of boring, I guess, to do an entire stream where all you do is low level training.
Yeah, from a streaming perspective, I get that would be a little tricky.
Yeah, like if it's the kind of thing that you're doing while you, I don't know, while you watch YouTube videos or something like that, you know, something that you do kind of passively, not as big a deal. But when you're trying to be entertaining, it's not the best basis for that. I wish there was Conquest 2. Since I haven't finished the story of Conquest yet, I can't really speak to a Conquest 2 specifically, but I do really like the gameplay and would like to play more games that are like that, without having to play games in a different franchise, because I know that that's basically the base gameplay of other games. I've heard Fire Emblem is similar, but I've never played a Fire Emblem game, so I can't really speak to that either. But yeah.
Yeah.
I did really like the gameplay.
I'm glad you like. I was into it too. Obviously a little less relaxing than what's going on with Snap, but still turn-based and still.
Just a slightly different experience, yes.
If you could liken it to a similar spin-off game, it would be Mystery Dungeon, and I think it's a lot more engaging than Mystery Dungeon. Mystery Dungeon, I love it, but I know that it's really simple.
I only played the Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX demo. That's all I've played as far as Mystery Dungeon, and I didn't like it very much.
Well, and if it didn't click for you there, it's just more of the same. But
yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like, okay, this is pretty. Like, I like looking at it, but I don't remember exactly what it was. But there was something about the gameplay itself that made me go like, ugh.
I think it had something to do with the time limit.
Is it a time limit? Is it a step limit?
Step limit?
Yeah, that's what Indigo thought it was as well, but I don't even remember how the game works, honestly. So yeah, so that might be it. But I can't say for sure that was the thing that turned me off the most.
Yeah. I really like the line work you did on the drill horn. That looks good. The negative space in there. Very good.
Well, I would hope you think so, because I basically just copied what you did.
Well, on the protruding parts, you have like very thin line work, which I like.
Oh, I see. Yes. I do thinner line work for the parts that are just like folds, as opposed to, straight up like division of something else.
Yeah.
I feel like Max and Didac, I think, have been having a completely independent conversation in the chat. And like, I'm totally okay with that, but I have no idea what it's about. It's just like every time I look down, one of them is saying something that seems unrelated to the messages that are around it, and I'm just totally lost.
They're in their own world, and it's just more powerful than what we're doing.
I guess so.
I really like the way you did the bigger spine on the top of the head, too. I think that works great to work as the second horn.
It actually kind of takes the shape of original Rhydon's second horn.
Yeah.
Because it like
just kinda
curves
works.
forward kind of awkwardly. The original looks kind of awkward. In this one, it's more... it follows more from the rest of the horns because they all curve forward, right? So looks a little bit more natural.
More like it belongs, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about One Piece. Okay, yeah, I definitely didn't like follow the start of that conversation at all. It's funny because it started with us arguing about the swords in Smash Brothers.
Gotta
Wow.
start somewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are very into One Piece, but I think there's just too much of it, and it's just not quite for me. I don't really love the art style. I know that's a sticking point for a lot of people, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about it, so I can't really speak to it.
It's just the biggest anime there ever was.
As far as, like, number of episodes?
Kind of number of episodes and popularity. It's been going on for a really long time, and there's just so many things. There's so many chapters, there's so many characters, there's so many, like, movies and games, and it's just, like, enormously popular in Japan and pretty popular over here.
Yeah, like, I've heard about it a lot, but I don't know, I feel like I haven't heard about it as much as I heard about, like, Naruto back in the
Just
day.
because you hung out with Ness and I.
Yeah, I mean, I did know...
We were deeply in.
Yeah, I have never, even to this day, I have never watched an episode of Naruto, but nowadays I probably don't remember as much, but I knew characters from Naruto because of you guys.
You just, like, knew them inside and out. I mean, here's something that 10 years ago Julie would have been ashamed to hear me say, but you don't need to watch it. There's just better things now. I still like it, but it is certainly flawed. One of the hardest parts to watch about modern day Naruto is it is really bad at making any female characters that matter. Almost any time a new girl is introduced, it's just clear cut that she is either weaker than the boys or not important for some reason. There's like one or two characters that are girls, and I'm like, yeah, they do stuff, and there's just dozens of characters that matter in Naruto.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard about that before.
It's a pervasive problem that doesn't really get better no matter how long the show goes on.
Great. Naruto itself isn't still going, is it?
They made a sequel series about Naruto's son, and
Yeah.
that's still going, but
Okay.
no, they did wrap up the original.
Does the sequel have better female characters?
I hope so. I haven't gotten there yet, and my
Okay.
fingers are crossed, but like I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. You intend to watch it though?
I think if I get through, finally get through Naruto, I've never finished it because I fell off back when I was really into it, and I was caught up at the time, but then like I didn't watch it for years, and it finally finished up. I think if I finish it, I will give the second show a chance, but I'm not gonna stick with it religiously if I don't like it.
Right. So I finished the lines, and even though you complimented me on the horns, the perspective on the drill is totally wrong, and I need to flip it. I don't think I need to redo it entirely. I think I can just redraw the lines on the inside, because they're curving downwards, but we're looking up at it, so they need to curve upwards.
Oh, I think that's how I drew it too, to be fair. So yeah.
But
you're right.
Your drawing was looking down, or more like straight on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks more natural than yours, because you can actually see like the base of the horn curves downward, and so pretty much everything else would also curve downward.
Yeah.
Whereas on mine, because the head is up, from the angle that we're seeing, the base of the horn, I mean, it would be pretty flat, but it would be curving slightly upwards.
Mm-hmm.
If I drew the base itself around here. So, yeah, so everything else needs to curve upwards as well.
Yeah.
Oh, don't delete all of the line work.
Yeah, I understand that shonen anime is generally more geared towards a male story, and I'm totally fine with that. Um, I'm totally fine if most of the characters are guys, but if you have girls in your story, I don't want them to all suck. Like just don't put them there at all if you don't want to write them well, you know?
Yeah. And also, like, just because the show isn't, like, just because girls aren't part of the target audience doesn't mean they don't have to have good representation. Because, like, boys
Right.
need exposure to strong female characters, too.
I agree. One of the
Boys need to know
reasons
that not all women are there to, do their bidding.
to just be wives and girlfriends.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons that there was such a big stigma for a while about having girls in boy media is just because the way that girls were written, it just sucked. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like him as a kid either. It's just like, why are they here? They're all the same character. They don't do anything. Get them out of here.
Yeah. So, fix that first.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even as a kid, I watched Cardcaptor Sakura, right? It was like that's definitely for girls, or like the anime at least is definitely for girls. I don't know about the manga, but like I loved it, and I still do.
Yeah. That's
So
just a sign of good writing.
yeah, like if it's well done, you're good. Okay, that definitely looks better than it did before. Uh, where was the cat? I see.
On the chair behind you.
Oh, back there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What kitty is that?
That is Rogue.
Hi, Rogue.
I don't know where Saucepan is. Do you see her?
She's sunbathing
No.
by the window.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with the lines now. Perspective on the horn still feels a little bit off.
Better than it was.
Definitely better than it was. I don't know what would be different though.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. I like it where it's at.
Okay. And it's not like official Pokemon art has no mistakes.
Kadabra, looking at you.
I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
It's just because it's in my mind now that I Googled it. It's so
Yeah.
funny. He looks like he just chopped a finger off.
'Cause he did.
He picked up a knife one day instead of a spoon, and it changed his life.
It has something to do with like numerology and like no Pokemon have four fingers or something like that. Some Japanese numerology. And so they had four fingers on it and then they decided to do three.
Yeah, I heard that's a thing that like they don't like about cartoons there.
Yeah.
Like The Simpsons is like offensive to them in some way because like they all have four fingers, and I forget why that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't remember the detail either.
Is it true that no Pokemon have four fingers?
I think so. They often have 3, 5, 2, and like maybe nowadays there's ones with 4.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of one. I don't know if I can think of it. If anybody can think of a Pokemon with four fingers, let's put it in chat. I'd like to know. I'm like furiously Googling different Pokemon, and like every time they come up, I'm like, nope, nope. I thought that Grimmsnarl might have them. Nope, it's 3.
Oh, it's because one of the readings of 4 is sheep, and that is very. That is basically the word for death as well.
Superstitious. Interesting.
Yeah. Have you not noticed that Japanese culture likes their old legends?
I mean, I've gathered. Pokemon that have 4 limbs are exempt, I guess.
Probably because everything has 4 limbs. Or like, obviously not literally everything, but
Right.
most of the things that you encounter on a day-to-day basis have 4 limbs. Aiden said, later when the stream is over, all I want you to do is scroll up from this point to see how I've tried to help your channel grow, only for the chats to be flooded with shonen anime. I don't know what you did, Aiden, but I appreciate it.
He's been promoting us a little bit, telling people that they can sub to chat with us here and whatnot. It's sweet. I appreciate it.
That's great. Thank you, Aiden. Yeah, the chat sometimes goes too quickly for me to read everything, especially when we're having a conversation and I'm drawing. So
You're too popular for your own good.
yeah. So announcement about that coming soon, I guess. It's not. I can tell you guys. It's not like a secret or anything. But in June, I'm going to launch channel members, and channel members will, among other things, I guess, will get like comment response priority. And because you get your like name highlighted, like I'm much more likely to respond to Gano's messages because Gano is a moderator in the chat, and so his name is highlighted, right? So like his name just like catches my eye. And it'll be similar with channel members as well.
Very cool.
It'll be easier for me to keep track of comments and chat messages from members. I don't know how well that's going to go, like if it's going to have a lot of uptake or anything, but if you become a channel member, you will get a badge next to your name and you will get emotes. Now, I don't know exactly what those are going to look like yet. I haven't made the badges or the emotes. I kind of need to.
I'm sure you'll do a good job. I've seen some of the stuff you've made for Ethan and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, so one of the ones that I'm definitely going to use is one that I originally made for Ethan, but it wasn't quite what he was going for, even though he decided to use it anyway, but we came to an agreement. We are both using it. The melting ice face.
Very
Ice
cool.
cube. But I don't know what else I'm going to use, like what else I'm going to make for that. But that's probably going to be the topic, or not the topic. It'll probably be what we're drawing next week on the monthly now art stream instead of monthly strictly redesign stream.
Please make a Swadloon redesign. Not a Swadloon redesign, a Swadloon emote. Good gracious. I'm just looking at Rhydon.
You want me to redesign
Swadloon.
Swadloon? Okay, I will
it's
do
perfect. It's perfect. Don't touch it. Please. It's my baby.
The thing is that I want to come up with emotes that feel relevant to the channel. And so like someone suggested like a surprised Pikachu but with Umbreon. And so like that's a good one, right?
Yeah, that is a good one.
It's just a surprised emote and it's an Umbreon. Great. But like what else? Like what else? And this is a question that you guys can give me ideas, because I really need ideas of what the badges and the emotes should be.
Well, Swadloon's relevant because it's your good friend Banana Meteor's favorite Pokemon. It can't get more relevant than that.
Cozy looking Swadloon. Wow, people seem excited for the emote stream. All right,
Yeah,
now I have
that'll
now I have to make sure that I spend the week coming up with good ideas.
Oh yeah, Ethan would love having a Spiel emote too.
Well, Ethan has a Spiel emote, but it's his emote. I mean, it's one that I drew for him. It's the skater Spiel that he uses for all kinds of things. He uses it on Twitch, but it's part of his like streaming layout on Twitch too. So
I think it would be fun to have an emote of a redesign on the 151. Maybe one that's been really popular or really well loved.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And I think I was also considering redesign themed ones. Not like strictly the new 151, but actually, yeah, probably there should be one that's from the new 151 and maybe one that isn't. But yes, new 151 rep for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what are the really popular redesigns that would also work really well as emotes?
Let me give a good look-see to these guys.
Okay.
What are my favorites?
Do we need an emotes for restarting Photoshop? Oh, we need something for restarting Photoshop.
Sad Smeargle.
Sad Smeargle. Smeargle is a good one because I do like Smeargle, but
new 151 Electrode is really rife for like an emote face.
Is it the Pog face?
I think it could be.
Bearsius, Bear Arceus is a good one too. It might be a little bit too complex, but maybe just the like glowy face. Yeah.
Hello?
Huh?
Hello?
Hi.
Ooh, little disconnect there.
Oh. Did I cut off?
No, I think it was just me.
Oh, okay. As far as I could tell, you were just saying nothing and then suddenly you were saying hello. But like you didn't cut off or anything. There was no indication that you were trying to say something else. Okay, maybe now there is an indication that you're trying to say something else because you're not responding to me.
Uh-oh.
Well, now you responded, so I don't know.
Did all my messages come all at once? Is everything cool now?
All your messages?
All my speaking
okay.
voice clips?
I don't know. If you cut out, I didn't notice, really.
Okay.
So, I think we're good. What do you think of the red belly? I like it, and I think it does not look too steel type when paired with the brown orange.
I think that's totally fine. That's a good way to reincorporate that red too.
Yeah, and I do want to make it a warmer gray again because it is not currently.
One of my favorite new 151s is Diglett. I think Diglett came out so good.
Yeah, I really like it too. I like a lot of them. To be clear, I like a lot of them. Like there are definitely plenty that I'm like. There are plenty that I'm like, like it's okay. But there are also a lot that I really like. Maybe
That might be my fave.
Diglett?
Yeah.
Diglett is a good one for like because it's simple enough. I can probably make a good emote out of it too.
Yeah. Get its little nose right in there.
Yeah.
Cute little nose.
All right, let's dirty this guy up.
Give him that grunge.
He's
That
too clean at the
slime.
moment.
That filth.
Gross.
Now, have we given any of the new 151 four fingers?
Uh-oh.
Have we been appreciating that law?
Uh-oh. I don't know actually. I definitely didn't like pay attention to that. I don't know. I'm not Japanese. I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, you gave him the Gengar. How could you?
Oh, it's perfect. No, that's perfect. If anything is gonna have four fingers to signify death, it's gotta be Gengar.
Yeah, right?
It was serendipity. I don't even know if I was like aware of that fingered number rule when I made Gengar. So,
Yeah. Just snuck in there.
Yeah. Imagine an evil Pokemon that's just a hand with four fingers. It's a ghost type Pokemon that's just a disembodied hand. I mean, could work.
Oh, hold on. Oh no, Kofagrigus has 5. Never mind. That would have been the one to do it on, huh?
That would have been another good one, yeah. All right. How's that?
That looks pretty good. I like that.
I like that it. Well, at least I don't think that it looks like a steel type, and I'm not going to shade it like to look shiny, so it's not supposed to look like a steel type.
Mm-hmm.
It does. They do kind of look like they would evolve into a steel type, though.
Well,
Hey, maybe we'd like it more than we like Rhyperior.
They don't though. Rhyperior is not a steel type.
no?
Nope.
Oh.
Exactly. Because we wouldn't make that.
Aha! We can make a Rhyperior that is the superior Rhyperior that is an evolution to this and a steel type.
Yeah.
You know, if we ever make the new N51 Plus. Which is something that we've talked about before a lot, but
Who knows? Someone asks for it every week.
yeah. And my reaction is always like, I kind of want to be done with it. I don't know. Like maybe it would just be like an occasional thing, like, hey, you guys want to do a stream this month, and we'll do an evolution for Rhydon. Like, we'll do a new Rhyperior.
Mm-hmm.
But not like we are doing every Pokemon from Generation 2, or we are doing every Pokemon that evolves from one of the Pokemon that we already did. I feel like that responsibility would be a bit much, because this project has been going for 5 years. And Rhydon is number, what, like 110 or something?
Something like that. We would actually die before we finished this project, because they come out with new Pokemon faster than we can redesign them.
Rhydon is 112, so there's still almost 40 Pokemon left.
So many.
But I think that we're at a good stage to stop for today. This is at the stage where I normally stop. And I'm going to just pull up the list of what's next. So we've got Chansey and Tangela next. We can do both of those on the same stream. Tangela is one that Ness, I know, really wants to do. Chansey is one that I signed up for, but I'm not, like, super, like, I don't have a specific idea for it or anything. So, Julie, if you want to do Chansey, if you're interested in doing Chansey, feel free.
You know what? I think I would like to do Chansey.
Okay.
But I'm gonna up the food on it, so be prepared for some eggs.
All right.
You have given me something I can turn into a food Pokemon, so I will take that opportunity and run with it.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got Chansey and Tangela, and then Kangaskhan we already did.
Yeah, I think we did that with Cubone.
Yep. Yeah, we made it a cousin of Cubone and Marowak.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a few 2-stage mons. Later on, there's a whole bunch of 1-stage mons. So I haven't counted, but I think that if we combine the single-stage mons in a good way, we might be able to finish next year. I don't think we can finish before next year.
We'll try.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Keep your emote ideas coming. If you are on Discord, obviously you can put them there. If you're on Twitter, you can send them to me there. And if you are on neither, I guess at this point, that's too bad. I don't... If you're not on Discord, if you're not in the Discord yet, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, you probably have no other way of reliably contacting me.
Just shout into the void and maybe I'll answer.
It's worth a shot. Okay. I seem to have made the mistake of not actually recording this stream. Like, obviously, I can download the stream archive from YouTube later, but it's not going to be in as good quality as if I recorded it myself. So, oops. But I'll survive.
Hope you were here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's 240p for everyone.
Thankfully, not that bad. But I think it's in 720p that I stream, because I stream in a slightly lower resolution so that it doesn't lag as much.
That makes sense.
But I record in 1080, so yeah, I'd have to blow it up a little extra to use in a video.
Wow.
But it's fine. Like, yeah, it's not a super noticeable difference anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Julie, thank you for joining me, and thank you for these awesome designs. Let me actually put
For
both
having
of them
me, Libris.
up.
Always good to be here. I hope I can do an even better job on Chansey.
Make sure both of them are visible here. I'm interested to see what you're gonna do.
Me too.
I'm interested to not have to come up with an idea for that one.
You get to just chill for another month.
Yeah. Yeah, because Chansey would have been one of those where, like, I signed up to do it, but I don't have the idea, so I'm gonna have to work really hard to come up with an idea.
Yeah.
And those aren't the best ones. So.
Well, I got it. No worries.
All right. And thank you everyone else for watching. I will hopefully finish these guys up throughout the week and post them by next weekend. As what's happened recently is that I would just finish it on next Saturday, but because next Saturday is the day that we're doing the emote stream, I'm gonna try to finish this before that. All right. Thank you everyone for hanging out and for watching, and I will see you guys for Conquest stream, at least some of you. See you for Conquest stream on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.